Welcome back to Sunrunner. Well, first things first. New digs. Let me give you the grand tour. Today's journey started back in November on another trip to Albuquerque, New Mexico, where we would join a buddy of ours, Brendan, for Bible study. On the way home, we felt the call of the road again, and I blurted out, Sturgis, and it stuck. For anyone scratching their heads, Sturgis, South Dakota, is the mecca of motorcycles. It's the location of the largest rally in the world, where over 500,000 riders would come and go over 10 days in August. After 15 years of riding, I decided it was my turn to see what it was all about. This trip would cover about 2,600 miles over 13 days, so a bit of planning and packing would be necessary. We'd begin in our usual home base of Los Angeles and take Highway 15 all the way through the Mojave, past Las Vegas into a little town called Mesquite, which we'd been to before. Cat was due for a few upgrades and maintenance. I took off that boo-boo windshield I had on and fitted her with something a little sleeker. At 33,000 miles, I can't just piss in the gas tank anymore. So Jason came over, dressed like a fisherman, to give me a hand. Brendan and Mario had a really dumb one camp. We had some fun with it. Oh, it's working! Oh. Anyone who's ever had a stuck oil filter will understand my enthusiasm here. Yeah, you have no idea how relieving that is. Holy shit. Yes. After a thorough systems check, it was time to get packing. Since we weren't camping, this would be mostly clothes and tools, but the fun part was the film, of which I had plenty to choose from. So I took the 10 best of what I had and started to pack Cat up. The truth is, it took months of planning, coordination, and maintenance to be able to be road ready. It felt good to throw a few bags on and call it done. Tomorrow would be an early morning, but we were finally ready to go. I did myself a favor and programmed the coffee pot for 3 a.m. Every little bit helps in the middle of the night. Everything was packed up and ready to go, so all we had to do was back out and hit the road. I generally try to avoid riding in the dark. It's difficult to see in front of you, and it's difficult to be seen. I can't say that the benefit outweighed the risk this morning, but the temperature in the Mojave was meant to be 100 by 9 a.m. So we bought the ticket and took the ride. The sun would be up soon anyway. Our first stop was a familiar one, a little gas station in Barstow about 100 miles away from home. It's funny the places that become familiar to you. A chevron in the middle of the desert. Familiar or not, I know memory is temporary and flawed, so it was time to take my first pictures. It's here you'll see me make my first up. My sunglasses had flown off somewhere in the middle of the desert. Realizing the sun was coming up behind me, I knew I had to go get another pair. This is where the real ride for the day would begin. When that sun came up, it would come up hard. And what it would leave behind would last well into the night. There'd be no more relief today. We were in backcountry now, and every inch the sun grew over the horizon was measurable in Fahrenheit. So I pulled the throttle and tried to cover as much ground as I could before it was burned out in front of me. The desert is God's hamster wheel, if you believe in that kind of thing, and we were running it. Another 100 miles comes and goes pretty quickly in a straight line, though, and our next stop wasn't too far away. A little border town called Prim. There's another familiar gas station here, and not much else, which makes it easy to make a quick stop. We got some gas and something small to maintain the blood sugar and got back on the road. 8 a.m. and it was already in the 80s. We had no desire to hang around longer than we had to. Just a few miles down the road and we hit Las Vegas. Very tempting, but it was to be another stop on the way home. So we passed through without looking back. It was here we found ourselves in the home stretch between Las Vegas and Mesquite, and found ourselves in a traffic jam, which admittedly was odd for this part of the highway. There must have been something up ahead. Decided to ask for forgiveness and not permission to split lanes here in Nevada. Traffic was backed up for miles, and without air conditioning, I had the feeling we'd be forgiven. We worked our way to the front and got through the jam. Going southbound, we found there was a bad accident, which we later found out resulted in a fatality, an early reminder to have respect for the road. We, however, were nearly at our destination safely. Mesquite, Nevada. It's not going to be the Virgin River when I'm done with it. I arrived feeling maybe a little slappy. It had been a long day for 10 a.m. I checked in and we made our way back to the farthest possible hotel room that they could possibly give us. But we had arrived safely and in relative comfort, so I will keep my complaining to a minimum. There wasn't any young people that I saw. I can tell you that. Coincidentally, the room that we were assigned was exactly one floor up from where we had stayed 5 years previously. I'm sure that opens up some kind of philosophical jar about coincidence and free will, but today was not the day I was going to open it. We moved in quickly so that whatever tolerable portion of the temperature was left, we could use to walk to a restaurant and get some breakfast. We'd spent enough time on the motorcycles today. We made our way towards a place called Peggy Sue's 50s Diner. Somewhere we'd seen billboards for out on the highway on 15. This was more of an indulgent curiosity than a search for excellence, but I'm sure it would do. If you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know breakfast milkshakes are a favorite of mine.
With the sprinkles, the rainbow sprinkles, and it.
We'd hit Americana pay dirt, and it was everything we needed. Decently well fed, we now had the task of entertaining ourselves until a reasonable bedtime. The Virgin River had a few offerings for entertainment, which we took full advantage of. I got this great silhouetted picture of Jason, which, unknown to me, would become kind of a theme for me on this trip.
No more guts, thank you.
Jason gambled away his life savings, while I came up with enough for beer money. The day had hit us hard, but it was over. The sun went down over the Mojave, and for a short time, the desert was beautiful. We had another long day in front of us tomorrow, and it would be another early start.
What am I, 6?
Okay, forget I asked.
Day 1 had come to an end. We'd successfully beaten the desert, maybe for the first time in over a dozen crossings. Tomorrow will take us over 2 borders and deep into Utah. But until tomorrow, thanks for running with me.